So, a few minutes ago, I was looking in another Discord server I'm in, and someone sent this image and said, let's go. This really made me self reflect in a sense because what are Bluetooth headphones or Bluetooth audio gear? AirPods, Galaxy Buds, and where do you typically use these? On phones or built-in Bluetooth receivers within your PC or MacBook or something of the sort. But to get an external device for this is interesting, and I know that people who have Windows PCs and have built them themselves may not have receivers integrated into their PC, but this really made me think about how when you're someone who dedicates their life to audio essentially, you're trapping yourself in a cage kind of. There are benefits to this, I will say, but there's really a lot of negatives. For example, this Bluetooth dongle does not support LDAC, obviously, and the most you're going to get is probably low bit rate AAC. I don't know what high bit rate, low bit rate is, or what is considered high bit rate, low bit rate, but you're getting audibly lossy audio. And admittedly, it took me honestly a couple of weeks after setting my mind to it of training for 8 hours a day just to be able to pass a blind test between 256 kilobits per second AAC and lossless audio. And this was in Apple Music using K-pop songs. I think the first one I did it on was Trick It by Twice or Feel Special by Twice. And I was essentially doing a pseudo A/B test where I would randomly spam my mouse to disable or enable lossless audio, and I would guess from there on a piece of paper if it was lossy or lossless. And eventually I was able to pass these tests. And from there it's okay, now I'm able to tell the difference. So why should I listen to lossy audio? Okay, now I only use lossless audio on Apple Music. And for a while, I would say I was a bit anal about these things, and now we don't really care that much about lossless audio, even though I do use lossless audio on Apple Music, because I recognize other things are more important. And back in the day when I was initially able to do these blind tests, I was using Eddie-Modic ER2SCs, which at this point is recognized as garbage on this channel. So what makes the bigger difference? The lossless audio or better earphones like the True Theory Nova? And obviously, 256 kilobits AAC on this is much better than lossless audio on the Eddie-Modic ER2SE. And even slight differences to the target curve you're using for your headphones with equalization can change the experience to a much greater extent than lossy versus lossless audio. This is really one of those things where, unless you're doing controlled testing, it's going to be quite difficult to hear the difference. And even though I recognize this, I couldn't bring myself to use Bluetooth audio in my main setup because I know there is audible loss unless I'm using LDAC. And I do feel trapped in a bubble in that sense. Now, do I regret this? No, because audio has brought me a lot of joy and fulfillment, I would say, and there are some benefits being more aware of things like hearing loss and stuff like that. You don't want to go to clubs without earplugs, whereas, a normal person would not even think about wearing earplugs to go to a club because they're not, so obsessive about audio that they know all of these facts, right? And in some sense, it's a shame that things of these sort are not widely acknowledged by the vast amount of people, or a lot of people. I think it's probably more due to that than the education, because there is education out there for, what is safe hearing and not, but people choose to do other things with their life, and obviously that's fine, if you want to go to a club without earplugs, that's your prerogative. And at the end of the day, everyone dies eventually, right? So you live 80, 90 years, maybe 100 if you're lucky, and past that, really lucky. You could also get into some unfortunate accident before that. And it really makes you wonder and realize that you're only one part of something much bigger. You have just a world out there with all these animals, the ocean, and then you have the universe, which is supposedly infinitely expanding. And how long have these things been around for? Billions of years. So what percentage is your lifespan? It's really not significant. So you have to want to make the most of it in some sense. And for different people, this is going to differ, obviously, and some people may not ever really find a purpose. And if audio is not like that important to you, you can have other things that are extremely important to you, like maybe you're a professional sports player. So you don't need good audio to have an amazing life, really fulfilling life. But if you get fixated on these things, it can trap you from other experiences, like enjoying Bluetooth audio without annoying cables or something, or without having, an LDAC source. Because there are benefits to these things, such as convenience, but when you put audio quality above all else, you're just saying, audio quality is the ultimate. Like, Audeze LSD5, I have to use them plugged in to an amplifier to have enough power for all content I throw at it. I mean, most content is fine on my MacBook headphone out, but, some high dynamic range, low loudness content would require some more gain at least, if not more power. And, it's just these details that trap you when you get really obsessive about audio. And again, just to reiterate, I don't regret this in any way, but just like throwing this out there in some sense that if you, do want to consider getting into audio as a hobby, it can really limit you, and it honestly is not that easy to find information on what the best sound is. Even I am always discovering new things. So yeah, the purpose of this video is just like, you don't have to get trapped in this audiophile bubble to even enjoy audio. That is, you can enjoy audio over AirPods if you're not a trained listener or something. And you can think AirPods sound amazing. Like, I went to the Apple store to demo the Vision Pro, and the person there said the Vision Pro has amazing sound quality. You watch these reviews online, people don't say that the Vision Pro has zero bass at all and does not sound good in stereo music. But that is the nature of these things. The normal is not to be obsessive about audio. This is just one niche that you can cover, and really just one lifespan is not enough to know all about audio, or all there is to know about audio. It's just one field. You can be a marine biologist, you can be a doctor, you can be an Olympic athlete, or you can do multiple things at once. No one is saying you have to do only audio, of course, but if you do decide to pursue audio extremely seriously, you're going to limit other things you can do, essentially. Not that there really are other things I want to do, but I mean, there are, but it's just something that's always in the back of your mind. How does this relate to audio? What is this with audio, right? But really, just stick to AirPods if you don't want to waste your time with this, unless you are really serious about audio. Because to the average person, I really don't think it matters that much. They care more about active noise canceling and comfort. And even, of course, wireless is a requirement for most people. So, it's a funny story because I had this friend recommend me some headphones, and I recommended some niche Audeze Maxwell's or something, and he ended up getting these Bose Quiet Comfort 700s or something, and he was telling me how amazing they sounded, and I was like, wow, okay, maybe Bose is doing something. And I listened to them, and they were complete garbage, like a 3 out of 10. So to the uninitiated, ignorance is bliss, I guess. And yeah, that is the moral of the story.